to Rusty's Sudoku stream. I am Rusty. Q is over watching Cat TV. Is good for him, I think. Give some something to see if he can catch up, or at least distract him instead of letting him think it's okay to jump up on the counter and knock things off, which he's known to do. What is Cat TV? Well, in this case, they've got a background of some ground, and they're running simulations of bugs all over crickets at the moment, but it changes from time to time. All right. As usual, once I hit the check mark, it'll do a validation check. If it validates, we'll get a count or timer up here, and all the numbers that are on the board will have gray squares like the 7 does at the moment. They may go bold, I don't remember. And then we get to start solving. I give you 20 seconds ahead of time, or before I start on it, to see if you can solve the puzzle, or at least grab screenshots and maybe solve along with me. All right. You get 20 seconds. It's validated. Looks like both crickets and grasshoppers this time. All right. So one of these two is a 1. Got 4 possibilities here, 5 here, 4 possibilities here, 3 here, and 4 possibilities there, and 5 here. But 2. We get a couple of the 2 here, 1 here and here as well. This one says that a 2 has to be one of these. Well, it has to be this one, and one of these 2. One of these 2 over here. 3. I'll get a 3 here. 5 possibilities here and here. 3 possibilities here. Nope, 2 possibilities here. We can mark those. I did not mark 3 or more. And then we've got 2 possible 3s there. I've got 3 possible here. 5 possible here, 4 here, and 5 down here. All right, 4. One of these 2 is a 4. One of these 3 is a 4. That's too many. One of these 2 is a 4. Here we've got 3 possibilities. 5 possibilities. 6 up here. And then, like I say, 3 down here. All right, 5. Now this entire column is filled with 5. I've got 3 possibilities here. I'm going to reduce that by putting a 5 there. Now I've got 2 possibilities. Here I've got 4 possibilities so far. I've got 2 possibilities here, though. And up here, I've got 2 possibilities as well, which means this is a 5. Not a 5 there, that's a 5. And that means 5s are solved. 6s. Well, we've got a 6 here. Over here I've got 5 possibilities, 3 possibilities here. Down here, I've got 3 possibilities, 3 possibilities here also, 4 possibilities here, 4 here, and looks like 5 possibilities here, and 7 here. All right. 6s. Or no, that was 6. 7s. We got a 7 here and here. One of these two is a 7. We got a 7 here to go with this one, meaning one of these two is a 7. Here, one of these two has to be a 7, which means that can't be. That is, and one of these two is a 7. Up here, we are down to one of these two being a 7. Means that can't be. That one is. This one becomes a 5. And that clears up that 5, 5, 5 here. Which means here we've got a 6, it looks like. One of these two will be a 6. That means one of these two is a 6, but not that one. That's a 6. And up here, we've got 3 possibilities for a 6. I've got 3 possibilities for a 6 here. And here. Nope, 1 here. One of these 3 is a 6. Then we move on to 7. All right, one of these 2 is a 7. Okay. One of these 2 is a 7. Means that one's not. That one is. That one's not. That is. And let's see. One of these 2 is a 7. And one of these 2. So those are the 7s I've got to solve. All right, we got 2 possibilities and 1 8 here. 2 possibilities for an 8 here. 3 here. 2 possibilities here. This one can't be, so this one is. And that means one of these 2 is an 8. And on we go to 9. We get a 9 here. One of these 2 is a 9. This can't be a 1 anymore. One of these 2 is a 9. We get 9s and 6s there. And down here, we've got 3 possibilities for 9. Can we narrow this down a bit? Yes, we can. One of these 2 is going to be a 4. That takes care of up to 5. One of these 3 is a 6, and 1 is a 9. Okay. And here we've got 3 possibilities of 6. I'm looking for 9, aren't I? All right, so one of these 2 is a 9. I've got 4 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. All right, so one of these 2 is a 1. We've got 2. We've got 3 possibilities for 3. Otherwise, 4s, 5, 6, 7, 8 are in here. Got 3 possibilities for 1, a 2, 4 possibilities for 3, 5 possibilities for 4, and 5 is a given, 3 possibilities for 6, 7 is provided, 8 we've learned, and 3 possibilities for 9. However, let's run through that again. So ones, 2, 3s, 4, 5, 6, and 9s are up here. All right, over here, I've got 3 possibilities for 1, 1 possibility for 4. So I can mark these 2 possibilities for 1. That means that can't be a 1. One of these 3 will be a 1. It looks like this is the only 2 available here. So that's not a 2, that is. And that looks like 2s are now solved. Seven here. All right. 9, 6, 1, 3. And I've got 3 possibilities for 1 here. 3 possibilities for 1 there. 5 here. Over here, I've got 4 possibilities for 1. 2 here. 4 possibilities for 3. 3 possibilities for 4. 5, 6 givens. One of these 2 is a 7. One of these 2 is an 8. I get a 9 here. All right. One of these 2 is a 9. One of these 2 is a 3. And we've got a 6 going here. 1, 3, 6. That becomes a 3. That becomes a 9. All right. So over here, that becomes a 6. This a 9. This becomes a 9. And we're left with this being, one of these 2 being a 6. 6 and 4 there. And 4. 4 possibilities and 4 here. 4 possibilities for 1. There's a 2. One of these 2 is a 3. Likewise up here. That means that 3 is restricted to this one right here. And that means one of these 2 is a 3. That means this is a 3. This becomes a 1. This becomes a 1 up here. And that means one of these 3 is going to be a 1. 2, 3. And I've got 4 possibilities for 4 here. 5. Also 3 possibilities for a 6. 7. 2 possibilities for an 8. And that 9 means one of these 2 has to be a 9, and that can't be. All right, because I've got a 9 down here. All right, let's clean up a couple of things. That suggests that our problem is that that can't be a 6. If that's not a 6, then that can't be a 6, which suggests that's not a 5. That's not a 5. All right. So let's go with, oh, that's right. Those two has to be a 7, so this can't. All right. Let's take it all the way back to the top. And we're going to start with 9s. And we're going to do a flood fill. Flood fill just means I'm going in and I'm not limiting myself to just the top or to cells that have 2 possibilities. I'm going to flood the field where there are possibilities. 2. One of these, this one's going to be a 2. One of these 2 is a 2. One of these 2 is. This is a 2. All right. So that means I just jumped from 9s to 2s. How about 8s? Now this column is collected. This row becomes collected. One of these 2 is going to be an 8. I've got 3 possibilities here. And we get an 8 here, but not there. 2 possibilities for 8 there, 2 for 8 there. 7. One of these 2 is a 7. One of these 2 is a 7. I've got 3 possible 7s here. 2 possibles here. Four possibles there. And 3 possibles here. All right, 6s. There's 6 there. One of these 3 is a 6. I've got 2 possibilities here. 4 possibilities for 6 again here. 3 possibilities for 6 here. Everything's open for 8 possibilities here. Over here, we've got 6 possible 6s. Down here, we've got everything for 5 and 5 possible 6s here. 4. One of these 3 is 4. And yes, I did just do a jump. And I've got 3 possible 4s here, 2 up here, 2 up here, everything's open here, and it looks like I've got 5 possibilities here. How about 5s though? So we got a 5 there and there and there, there. One of these 2 is a 5. I've got a 5 there. One of these, 2 is a 5. Down here, I've got, that can't be a 5. Huh? Oh, yep, nope, right there. So one of these, 4 is a 5. I've got 4 possibilities, or 2 possibilities here. Not here, not here. All right. 3s. I've got a 3 on the board, 2 3s on the board. So one of these, 2 is a 3. I've got a 3 there. Oh, 3 3s on the board. So one of these, 2 is a 3. This is a possibility, as are both of all of those, just not that one. 3 possibilities here. Here we've got 5 possibilities. And up here we've got 4. All right, I think we've got 2's marked, so how about 1? We're down to 2 possible 1s here. I've got 6 or 5 possibles there, 3 possible there, 3 possible there, 4 possible. 4 possible there. I got those marked. I've got everything's open here. Here, everything's available. And we've already marked 2 possible, or 3 possible up here. That's everything. So, do we have anything that is singleton? I'm not seeing any singletons. So, we've already taken care of those. So we got a 1 3, 1 3, 4, 1 4 there. 1 3, 1 4 3, 1 or 4 6 3. 1 5 6, 1 5 6 4. 1 3 6. 7, 3 4 7. 1 4 6 9. 1 4 6 9 3. 4 6 3 9. Okay. Really what I should be looking for now is pairs I can use to eliminate others. I'm finding a lot of nice triplets. Or yeah. These 2 is a 7, so this can't be a 7. I've got 2 possibilities here. 2 here means these 2 can't be 7s. 7's going to be one of these 2. This one's going to be a 6. The only 6 in a square. That makes this a 9. This becomes a 7. Now I've got, oh, not the only 6 in a square, but it was the only 6 across this row of them. That turns that into a 3 and a 9 there. Not a 9. Not a 9. Also not a 9 there. And we can clean up a couple of others. Just can't clean up that row yet. All right. Got a 3 here, so that can't be a 3. That can't be a 3. That can't be a 3. That becomes 1. 7. So let's clean up the 7 and this 1. And this can't be a 1, so it's a 6. Clean up some 6s here. Four, 3, 4, 3 makes this into a 7. So we get to clean up some 7s. That doesn't get to be a 7 anymore. This one's a 7. Still have 2 possibilities here. I think I had failed to see that I had 2 possibilities here earlier, and that's why we ended up down that dead-end trail. One there means these. You can't be a 1. We got 5, 6, 5, 4, 6, 4, 6, 3, 4, 3. Well, let's punt here. With a 4 here and a 3 here. That means this is not a 3, not a 4, a 4, not a 4. Not a 3 there, there, or there. That makes this a 1, so we can clean up 1s here and here. Also down here, we got a 4-8 pair now. And these 2s and 8 go with the 4 here. This has a 4, so we've got those 4 possibilities here, or 5 possibilities. And 2 possibilities down here. Four, 6, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. 1, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. 1, 3, 6. 1, 6, 9. 1, 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. One of these 2 is going to be a 3. Yep, works. One of these 3. Okay. This ends up being a 5. That becomes a 1. Not a 1 here. 9 here. Here and 2 here. Not a 6 on these 3. Not a 5 there. Also not a 1. Not a 2 here. Nine goes here. That makes this a 3 and this a 5. Clean up 9 up here. Clean up these 2 3s. That makes this a 3. Clean up that one. This becomes a 3. Not a 1 here. Out. That makes this into a 1. Turns this into a 6. This becomes a 5 here. Making this one a 5. Not a 5 here. 6, 7 pair there. Not a 5 here. Also not a 6. So that's a 4 and a 1 here. That makes this one into a 4. This one becomes a 6. We can clean up the 6 here. That's the 1 and that's the 9. So now we can clean up the 9 here, the 6 here, and here. This becomes a 1. This gets to clean up a 1. Not a 9 there, or there, or there. That becomes a 4. 2, 9 down here. This becomes a 6, 7 and 4 here, 7 and 6 there. Not a 4, not a 4, so 8 and 6 here, 8 and 4 here. And it looks like I got something messed up. Ones and nines look good. You here. There we go. Well, it's a little long for a medium. 36 minutes and 30 seconds, we'll call it. 36 minutes 30 or 29 seconds, so a little longer than I like, but hey, let me get that number put in. All right, I want to say thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you found this entertaining, maybe fun, and we will look forward to checking in with you again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.